Hello, welcome to Signal Noise Podcast. My name is Brian Lamar. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Joining me, as always, our other co-host, Andrew DeSillis. Hello, sir.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing well. You are in a different location based upon my visual cues.
I am indeed. I am in the Dunwoody Perimeter Residence Inn in Atlanta. Mini Rant Residence Inn is the best hotel to stay in.
Agreed.
It's listed on the Marriott website as like one of their budget extended stays, and
Yeah.
I am always in.
I love them.
It's like the new ones are so nice.
Get a little kitchen, get the suite.
This room is huge. I have a refrigerator for leftovers.
Yeah.
So what am I giving up? There's still a fitness center. There's a pool at this one. I'm giving up the hotel bar.
Yeah.
I mean,
nice restaurant.
Oh yeah, there's no restaurant here. There's still breakfast.
Exactly.
And the room's $200 a night, and it would cost $1,000 a night if I was in a big M Marriott.
Shout out to Marriott. By the way, have you taken a Waymo yet?
I have not gotten a Waymo yet.
Okay.
I've been choosing Comfort Electric to try to get one, and it's the same price as Comfort.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to get one, but I have not gotten one yet. So I have another few meetings today. Headed to the airport tomorrow morning and crossing my fingers that I indeed get into a Waymo. I might freak out, but it's going to be cool, and I'll take a video and send it to people as I'm obligated to do so, right?
Yes. The two that I took were in that area you're at, and I was only going local places, so it was within like 10 minutes. I think Waymo, the algorithm tries to keep it within that area up there. It doesn't like want to take you all to the airport yet. Or, I mean, it's been 3 months since I've been there. That could be forever in Waymo time. But keep it in the Dunwoody, Buckhead, Northern Atlanta, suburban, business district.
Well, all my meetings this afternoon are around here, so fingers crossed. Okay.
This is one of my favorite types of episodes that we're going to do today, where we have no agenda. I know you have some sort of rant, rant of some sort of a rant, and we're just going to see where this goes. This may never air, but it could be our best episode ever. So we'll see how this goes.
It'll air. Our rant episodes are often some of the best received. And special shout out to Sean, who I had dinner with last night. He is not a listener of Signal and Noise podcast yet, does like podcasts, and he was saying, send me your favorite one. And I said, well, people like the rant episodes. Well, send me your favorite rant episode. And I said, Sean, I'm going to do one for you tomorrow.
Oh, here we go.
This is dedicated to Sean, a rant episode just for you, buddy.
Should we send him the secret Twitter account link?
Yes. And anyone else, if you want a secret Twitter account, if you're not a huge podcast listener, we post the highlights to a Twitter account only for people who don't listen to podcasts to get the highlights.
We only have one follower because we created it for that one person. And now it's not hard. I don't think it's not a hidden account, so people can find it, but we don't promote it or anything. It's just little short 1-minute videos of, 6 to 10 different videos from a podcast that are kind of little highlights. So if you're interested, let us know or look for it.
I love it. Well, let's get into it, Brian.
Yeah.
As much Waymo and Marriott and self-promoting of our secret Twitter account as we need to do. The listeners are here for the hot take. Do you have a rant, or do you want me to just get right into it?
I think you get right into it, and we'll see.
I have been really struggling with this for the last week, and I just posted an article on LinkedIn about it. You can go read that if you want my thoughts in a little bit more structured, polished of a way. But essentially, I'm feeling like I'm trying to build a robot that can build a computer underwater with one arm tied behind my back. And it's not a swimming pool. It's like a wave pool at a water park, and everything keeps changing. And the reason that I feel that way is because we all saw the Anthropic article that documented, based on usage, based on industry studies, what occupations have quote unquote AI exposure. Market research was specifically number 5. So out of all industries that are using AI, Anthropic felt that market research, specifically our little niche of the world, is exposed enough that it made their list of top 10 as exposed. Number 6 was B2B sales. So I'm both. Okay. I personally, I found that encouraging because I see AI exposure as AI opportunity. It means that a lot of what we do can be leveraged by AI. I posted an article earlier this week about that. I mentioned my best friend in the whole wide world. He's an electrician, right? Yes, he doesn't have to worry about a robot replacing him anytime soon. He also doesn't get a robot to help him anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
We get to use AI tools to make ourselves into superhuman versions of what we used to be able to accomplish in a month. We can probably do in a day now
Yeah.
if we can stay up to speed. And so that's what I want to talk about is on one hand, everything is changing so quickly. What was impossible with AI a month ago is now not only possible, it's easy and it's
Yep.
getting faster. So like I feel like trying to, you know, catch a train while it's moving is what it feels like trying to stay up to speed on
And
AI.
and then the train might an hour later be going north instead of south, or it might be a car you should have been on, or
Or it turns into an airplane or like
right.
yeah, right. Like it's just
Now there's a portal.
yeah. And on the other end of that, it just to keep framing it and then we'll see where we go with it.
Yeah.
On the other end of that, like I know that we have some clients who will come to us and say, like, how are you using AI? But not on our studies.
Yep.
Don't use AI on our stuff, but how are you using it? It's AI first, AI forward, but don't put any of our data into it.
Yeah.
Similarly, with just like Market Once is a very, very technologically sophisticated company. We
Yep.
have a lot of developers. We have a new CTO who's absolutely brilliant. Our owner invests heavily in technology and software.
We have well-known names
Yeah,
in that department.
and I'm so proud to work at an organization that does that. And we are experimenting with AI. We have AI implemented into the stack. We're building AI products. Like, I want to be clear, this is not like frustration with the organization.
Not at all.
Organizations overall, though, like we have a SOC 2 compliance, we have a panel, we have so much PII, we work with client data. And by the time we are able to effectively evaluate and implement a tool, we're like 3 versions beyond.
Yeah.
And so those two framings are because how do you as an individual make sure that we really can't even jump on this plane train. We need to be driving it. How do you as an individual figure out what's going on and get in do trains have cockpits? What is that? The conductor box?
The engine car. Yeah.
The engine
The
car.
conductor car.
Yeah. How do you get in the engine car as an individual? And then how in the world do you implement this as an organization?
Yeah.
That's my rant. That's my
Okay.
rant. How do we do it?
I'm gonna build on this. First of all, I'm sure I didn't invent this term, but what you're experiencing is what I experience is I'm gonna call it AI anxiety.
Okay. Okay.
Anxiety with an I in it. Okay. I didn't perfect that delivery, but you get it. Yeah, because like in my personal use, I start off with ChatGPT, like most people, right? In the whatever it was, fall of 2019, played around, then got into Gemini and some of the in-app AIs, then Claude, Perplexity, Grok, and then like, okay, I'm using this app because it's best at this. I'm using this version because it's best at this. This is best at image creation. This is best at more marketing type stuff. This is best at math problems, and this is best at deep desk research. This
Mm-hmm.
is best at this. So then I'm experimenting all these things, and then as a company, we focused on really one and become pretty good at it. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute, maybe this other one's better at this, and there's new versions released every day. I mean, literally every day. Like this is a real life example. Yesterday, I complained because the AI tool we use isn't integrated with Microsoft PowerPoint. I literally had that complaint to you yesterday. Today, they released a version that is integrated with PowerPoint. Today.
Yep. Yep.
Like that's crazy. And if I were using if I'm using ChatGPT or if I'm using Gemini, if I'm using something else. Maybe I'm like, well, now I'm switching to Claude because it has this integration. Or maybe I'm going back to Copilot because it's already integrated. Every single day you could do something different. And
Yeah.
it's overwhelming to try to determine. That's at an individual level. At the company level, I don't even know how do you just pick one and commit to it for 3 months and then reevaluate? I don't know because it's moving so fast. It's light speed. I've never seen anything like it before in my lifetime. And you want to stay ahead of the curve. You still want to do all the blocking and tackling that we normally do in our job, but you want to be as efficient as possible. So you're doing a little experimenting. I know you're doing it on your own time. So am I, trying to figure this out and learning and studying. And then it's just so much, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and last week I canceled my Gemini, Grok, Claude,
Oh,
and OpenAI personal subscriptions
okay.
and upgraded to Perplexity Max.
Yep.
Um, and like super interestingly, they have abandoned Sonar, which was their main
Oh, I
model.
didn't know that.
I mean, not officially, it's still in there,
Yeah, I
but
see it in there.
the Perplexity Max subscription, every time I give it a prompt, the first task that it does is choose the appropriate model.
Yeah, so maybe back up just what is Perplexity Max and Pro? It's like an aggregator of others, right?
Yep. So with all of these, and you see this with Grok, I'm pretty sure Gemini has this. I think Claude just goes from like pro to like you need a business account.
Yeah.
But Perplexity offers regular Perplexity, which is just chatting with it, limited deep research queries, no access to the app and file builder, no model console, none of that kind of stuff. You get a pro, you get more deep research queries, you get a few app and file builders, no model console. And I think there might be some optionality in the different models. But at the max level, the first thing that it does is it chooses the best model to answer the question. And it has complete access to the frontier OpenAI models, the frontier Anthropic models, the frontier Gemini models. It has access to all kinds of other tools. It can make me images in Nano Banana. It can code with Claude. It can, write things with GPT 5.4. Like it is so powerful. Sonar's still in there, but to be honest, I have never seen it choose itself.
I have Pro and it chooses the best for me also.
Okay, good.
And it's Sonar, GPT 5.4, Gemini 3.1, Claude Sonnet 4.6. Opus isn't included. I'm guessing Opus is included when you upgrade even further. And I don't even know what Nemotron 3 Super is.
Yeah, I have Kinney as well at the max level.
Miss, yeah, just within Perplexity Pro, it's a little overwhelming. Like
Right.
now I gotta like, okay, what are all these things that I have access to now, right? Just
Yeah.
within that one.
Well, and not to make this an ad for Perplexity Max either, but it also introduces Perplexity Computer. And in what Perplexity Computer is two things. One, it introduces custom scripting and deployment of agentic AIs within the process. But then most importantly, it takes what you give it and breaks it down into a series of like programmatic input output tasks like a computer would. And so I can give it very, very complicated prompts and it's able to do them more effectively because it breaks them down into steps. It creates individual agents to complete those tasks, deploys them simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's like, well, here are the 20 things that I need to do. These 10 don't have to happen in an order. So I'm going to do all 10 of them at once.
Do you think that will remove? Here's one organizational problem I've already identified is that the marketing people are going to want Canva AI, right? You're creating images and really cool visual stuff in Canva, probably. The project managements are wanting, like, I think it's Asada and things like that. Everybody probably wants Copilot if you're a Microsoft company, Gemini if you're a Google company. You're probably choosing Anthropic, Claude, or ChatGPT. As an analyst, you want one thing. As a salesperson, you probably want something different. Every function, as a CEO, you probably want something very different. I don't know how you do this. I don't
Yeah.
know how, and especially when you're dealing with, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to think about that.
Yeah. I think where we probably end up, and this is what is difficult too, is like, okay, so like Perplexity has all these models. People are sharing, and we see the functionality consolidation where,
Yeah.
like, I don't know the products that Canva and Asana and these all these other companies like integrating AI and doing this and doing that, but like if the brains that Google and Anthropic and OpenAI are coming up with are so much faster and smarter, and they can write their own programs to do these features, like, is it all just going to collapse in onto itself that there's just like,
Yeah, like
where does it go?
the CRM, the CRMs, just all their stock prices just tanked when they realized AI can do it just as good and quick and build it really fast and just as better, maybe better features. And same thing with tax software, right? Like all of a sudden you can use Perplexity to do your taxes. And so what does that do to all the tax softwares out there? Like you could apply that to almost anything. The
No,
medical
because like
field.
if today I opened Comet, which is Perplexity's agentic browser, and I said, here is a Notion folder with all of my tax documents in it.
Yeah.
Here's my TurboTax login. Do
Yeah.
my taxes. I could walk away and it would do my taxes
Yeah.
today. And that's not even like writing a cool code to do it. I'm just giving it
Right.
the information and access to the account, and it'll click and move around and do all that kind of stuff. So here's where I'm at, because I don't want it to just be like, this is frustrating.
Yeah.
Here's what I think we end up doing. And it's what I'm like kind of trying to do, is that I think instead of deciding which I think we have to get really clear on how, when, and why AI
Yeah.
instead of what AI. And then we operationalize those processes and literal programmatic framework.
Yeah.
There are tasks that AI is not well suited for, in the same way that you and I have parts of our jobs that we need to do a certain way. There are orders in which we do certain things. And then there are times when we have to think with our brains, right?
Yep.
And so we have to get really clear on where, when, and how we're going to deploy the artificially intelligent brain, when it needs to reason versus when, just like how I was trained when I arrived here, like, here's how you do a bid. You click here, you click here, you click here. Here's how you launch a project. You're going to click here. These are the inputs. These are the outputs. This is how you do that, right? You can do all of that with Python code. We could
Yes.
Nathan network with sidebar. I owe an apology. This is how easy it is to get behind with AI. I watched like 14 YouTube videos where they called Nathan N8N, and I've been talking about building N8N networks for like a month since I've been obsessed with it. And I got their mobile app, and it's called Nathan. It says, "Hi, welcome to Nathan." So,
That's nice of them to tell you that. Yeah, that's how fast things are moving. You
yeah.
become a semi-expert on it as best as you can in a month, and you don't even know the name of it.
And the YouTube videos were calling it the wrong thing.
Right.
And that's a sidebar. But so, I think that we figure out where all of these things fit into our processes. I think we start to use them only for reasoning. We start building index databases that are local to us for all of the reference files that any of the brains could access. And then the outputs all get pulled down to our own files in formats.
You might be a step ahead of. I think you're a step or four ahead of people.
You think so?
Well, here's how I think about it.
Okay.
All right, here's all the tasks I do in a day. Here's the number of clicks it takes me to do this task, and here's how many hours a week I spend doing X, right? And we actually did this exercise in our previous life where for 2 weeks I've documented every minute of what I was doing in the office. And then it's an amazing exercise. I recommend this to everybody. It's painful, but it is so worth it. Document every minute of what you do for 2 weeks. Put them in categories like you're coding it, and then add it up and look at it and look at, well, this is not directly adding value to my organization or clients. It is just a mundane, I'm clicking to do something, right? Can I automate that? Can I use AI to be more efficient with that? That's how I think about it. And maybe that's a little old school and and not as useful as AI can be. But I still think about that every day. An example is I get a lot of data files to evaluate data quality, right? Both internal quality, external quality, and I enjoy it. I like looking through data files. I built within Claude a project, a screener quality review project, right? I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
every time I get a screener, I have to go through and I read the screener and I do this and this and this and this and this. Can I use AI to summarize in 4 bullet points in the criteria that I wanted? How long is the screener? Are there any leading questions? Does it assume it is going to gen pop? Or is there bias here? Is there bias there? And that's what I use as a first step. And I'm building that. And I still today read through every screener. And then I have another project where I can evaluate a data file that I have to use the screener to. But I'm like, okay, if I spend 45 minutes doing this exercise, how can I get that down to 15? That's how I think about it. And I
Mhm.
build projects and use AI to make it more efficient for me. And I've done that. I do that with our partnership with Qualtrics, with Edge and Synthetic. I upload every document I can find about Qualtrics Edge and Synthetic Sample and what we're doing and the latest press release. And when we have conversations with them, I make sure I have a file that I upload so real time data. And when we're having client discussions, I can't, it's so complex and challenging. I can't remember everything. So I make sure I have that file open at all times, right? And that's how I'm leveraging AI. And I think that most researchers can do that, even if you are not all in 100% on going down the path that you have gone down. And I have semi gone down. I think that if you have an AI license of any type, if it's Claude or if it's Anthropic or OpenAI or whatever, you can build a project. It might not be called a project, but you can build something that will help you become more efficient in your role. And that's
Mhm.
how I think, at a very minimum, people should be thinking about it. Right? Is it? Do you agree with everything I just said? I said a lot.
I do, at the minimum.
Yes.
Now
Okay.
let me illustrate
Yeah. Now you build on
that
that.
I was going. Yes, that is exactly how people should be approaching using AI. What do you do if tomorrow the government declares Anthropic a supply chain risk
Which is possible.
and we have to shut down everything you just built?
Well,
Is that really
personally, that's a
we're not
rhetorical question, I'm assuming. But I'm maintaining those skills, right? And that's the problem. That's the risk. What you're getting to is the risk. Is it's almost like back in the day, I studied how to do coding.
Mhm.
I took out a giant freaking piece of paper and literally built columns on pieces of paper and read verbatims and wrote them on other pieces of paper and eventually built a code frame. I by hand have done multiple regressions, right? In advanced statistics, even though I thought it was ridiculous at the time. I'm like, we have calculators, I have laptops, we have Microsoft Excel. Nope, you're doing it by hand. You're understanding why and how you build a regression and you're doing it and understanding all the inputs and everything. That's valuable for me as a researcher. When you start taking out or removing those foundational things, it's harder to be an expert and a true consultant in those things because you're just depending on somebody else to do a lot of the work. And I have found a lot of value in having done that work in my career. And not just those things, is everything. Because I mean, I've talked about it a lot. I've held pretty much every role in the marketing research industry. I did all of that in the same kind of way, in a very foundational, old school way. And now with AI, if you're just clicking some buttons and saying, do this, you don't understand the why or how or the advantages or disadvantages, right? Is that kind of what you're getting at? Is what if Anthropic all of a sudden can't be used? And now we're like, oh shit, what do we do?
What I think we end up doing, and I think it's a useful exercise because I think it really hones in on using AI for what AI is good at in building pipelines and systems around what it's not, and also for what it's not necessary, right?
Yeah.
Seems like a magic box. And I was having it, I'm obviously traveling. So I had a ton of conversations yesterday, and we'll have more today around, like AI is bad at some stuff too. And I had a client who shared some really hilarious stories about that. But so asking it to do things where fixed inputs, fixed windows of context, instructing it to use fixed windows of context to move from one particular task to another in a systemized way, using the reasoning when it's supposed to use reasoning. and just doing stuff when it's supposed to just do stuff. So here's what I'm talking about. And I apologize if this gets too technical for our readers. If I were you, I would Google Docs. I'm sure you can do it with OneDrive. In my personal experimentation, I'm using Notion because it's free. All of those documents that you just described that you're compiling,
Yeah.
right? They should live in a super small database, like a
Yes.
zipped up file, markdowns only, not even .docx, not even PDFs, markdown files only. They all live somewhere. And that file also includes instructions on how to read it and use it. Okay. Now, when Anthropic is, we can't use them for some reason, or it turns out that the OpenAI GPT 9.3 achieves AGI and is self-aware and jettisons itself into a satellite and doesn't talk to anyone else ever again, or like whatever.
Right.
Now you just take a different model with no context and no training, and you tell it, hey, I need you to review this screener. Reference this database. That database also contains instructions on how to use this database. And then that brain, that maybe there might be a company somewhere in Silicon Valley right now that is building something 100 times better than anything we're using today, quote unquote stealth mode. And
Yeah.
it's going to come out and we're going to end up using that. And so I think the exercise of figuring out how to be model agnostic also gets us to a place where we understand better when to use the models versus just using these magic chat boxes that let us talk to artificial intelligence. That's kind of my solution to the AI anxiety. But I don't know. I don't know if that's practical. I mean, it's a huge, because like, so I'm trying to do it to like make recipes, right? And I'm like giving it access to like, here are all my last grocery lists. Here's an index of all the kitchen equipment that I have. I have it store every new recipe that it writes for me. It has like a dieting plan. It has my grocery budget and it has access to my bank account to look at my budget. I'm trying to build this tool that will like prompt me and say like, hey, if you've been following your meal plan, you're about to run out of this. Do you want to do a grocery order? Here are meal preps for the week. And it takes a ton of time for me to index all of that information, even with its help creating it. But I'm trying to think about it in the same way that you are, that you're currently building in Claude, which is where you should build it, because that is our organization's enterprise license. And all of our like professional information should live in a company owned and secured instance of these things, right? Like
Yes.
I want to be super clear on that and super clear on what I'm doing. But like it does take time, but it's also made it really clear on when and how I want it to use it. And I'm not just saying like, hey, make me a recipe. I'm saying, hey, you can go into this little library next door and read 400 books in 3 seconds. You know, and when we're able to use it in ways like that, where it is most useful, I think it's helpful. Does that resonate at all? Am I like explaining that in the way that
Yeah.
we?
It's like just
Out?
documenting your work. It's all you're saving your work,
Yeah,
which if you need to move your work somewhere else, then you have the ability to do that because you've already built the foundation that you need, right? You're building a foundation.
yes.
Yeah. I don't think I've done that. That's something I probably need to do.
I mean, and I don't know, I don't know if it's fair of me to be kind of like alarmist and try to be model agnostic because I don't know how this plays out, but especially with the Anthropic like threat of supply chain thing. And, when GPT 5.4 came out, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. And, it feels less like someone is ahead of someone else and more like whose turn is it to release the latest model? And whenever Google or Anthropic or OpenAI releases their newest frontier model, it's the best one in the entire world. It's literally more just like whose turn is it to have the best one?
Yeah. The cool thing, I still think, and we've talked about this before, it's a cool time to be in this industry right now. There's so much opportunity. There's
Mm-hmm.
so much ability to be more efficient. If you look at it that way, oh wow, I can type in something and become more efficient. Literally within 15 minutes, I can build something that makes me more efficient and saves me hundreds of clicks a day.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It can be overwhelming, but it's really cool that we sit in the era where this is just becoming a thing, and it's fascinating to me. And I don't. How many conversations do you have with a client that AI is not brought up now?
1 in 10.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it, right? And everybody's investing. A year ago, when we talked to people, really they're iffy on it. Those same people now have invested, built stuff,
Yep.
trying stuff, partnerships. I mean, thankfully, our industry has gotten on board with it. We talked to Lenny about that a lot
Mhm.
in the last podcast,
Yes.
but we're still behind the curve. But even companies I didn't expect to ever really kind of dabble in it have not just dabbled; they're doing really cool stuff.
Well, and it's funny. It's like behind the curve. It's like I don't know if anyone can be on the curve unless you
Yeah,
work at OpenAI or Anthropic or
yeah,
something. I
right.
really don't. I don't think that you can be because there's just too much, too many new things. It's all happening too quickly, and I'm just trying to hang on. I now this is like what I do in the morning before my kids wake up, and this is what I do at night after Brooke goes to sleep, and it's like what I'm thinking about, and it's fun and it's exciting, but it's almost like I need to build an AI to stay up to speed on AI to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And I think that for our listeners, it becomes almost like a part-time job or like a hobby. I changed my LinkedIn headline to I think I was like sampling and survey expert, sales expert, and podcaster. And now it's survey and sales expert, AI enthusiast, podcaster. And I think we all just need to take the time to, in our personal lives, stay up to speed on this so that we can bring things that we discover to our organization. That's my take on it. And
Well,
I'm maybe a little bit further down the rabbit hole than others. Poor Brooke came home from a long my for those of you who aren't who don't listen to everything and don't know this, my fiance is a nurse and she came home and she was like, we coded someone right before I got off shift. Can we please not talk about AI tonight?
yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I've created a monster.
Well,
uh
to your point, and I agree with everything you said. The way that I really got on board with it was not using AI in a professional sense. It's usually in my personal life and seeing all the cool stuff I can do in my personal life. Like I go outside all the time and take pictures of flowers and plants and unknown things, and it'll tell me exactly what it is. Can my new puppy eat this? That's a very common AI search that I do now, that it can tell me everything about it. And like it's part of my daily routine is leveraging AI to learn and to be more efficient with things. And then that helps you brainstorm on how to do it in a professional sense.
yeah,
Is I'm doing it in my personal life. Okay, here's how I would leverage it to save me 10 minutes a day. And if I
yeah,
save 10 minutes here and an hour here, and I mean that adds up quick.
it does. It does indeed. So how does this then work? I mean, I think we're kind of just we are ranting, and this is indeed a rant episode. How does
Well,
this specifically tie into like marketing research? And how does market research as an industry, or how do market research organizations independently tackle the acceleration and complexity of the AI landscape? Do we need
oh,
to just be like always on testing?
that's the question right there that you just asked. I don't know. That I'll When you're listening to this, I'll have gone to SampleCon, recording this right before SampleCon, and that will be a question that I'll hopefully ask people. I don't know if you're a C-level person or even a CTO, no freaking clue. As an industry, I don't know. And
I
we're
almost,
we're
yeah,
a somewhat innovative industry, and I would have said that 10 years ago, but we're somewhat innovative.
I
You
think
know,
we are.
we have a lot of company names that I've never heard of before. We talked about this before that are getting lots of funding and giant evaluations and bringing a lot of smart people in, young, smart talent. So this is what they do for a living. I don't know. And we got to figure that out quick. Maybe. I don't know.
I think here's something that we can do. And I don't know if this is helpful, but it's something that I've been trying to do recently is that like I made a list of tasks that it would be really great if I had an easy button for, is how
Oh, you did.
yeah.
That's a great starting point for everybody.
And then what I do is that and it's sitting next to my desk, and sometimes I forget about it, and sometimes I forget to do this.
Yeah.
But it's like things that would save me a bunch of time that AI can't do.
Yeah.
Then whenever I kind of remember about it, it's usually like a week or two, or maybe like something will come up, like I need to make a new PowerPoint deck, or I need to do this, that, and the other. And again, I can't do this with like work PowerPoints, but I'll be making a work PowerPoint and I'll get help, like getting the outlines and building slide decks and all that stuff. It is helpful. I do use AI at work. I'm not saying that, but I'll remind myself like, oh, let me jump over to my, Perplexity Max computer, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
and say, I'm trying to convince my sons to not go to Great Wolf Lodge for spring break and to instead go hiking. And here's all my reasoning. Then invest single prompt, make a PowerPoint. Or I'm trying to explain a medic is a sales methodology to my fiance who has absolutely no sales acumen whatsoever. I need to be able to do it in a 3-minute video. One prompt. That's the key to the easy button. The easy button. It has to be one prompt. And I keep trying to do it, and then I evaluate the quality of what comes out and use that as a barometer of like, can AI do XYZ yet?
Yeah.
And I had about 6 things on my list. And for the first time, I checked 3 of them off, and it was all in the last week.
Hmm.
So now I need to come up with some more.
Yeah.
Right?
It should be a long list.
And I think that might be a good way if we can have a formal enough AI strategy to say, here are the things, like to understand well enough where we should use AI today, where we would use AI but won't. And then we're testing that where we would on a continuing basis. Maybe there has to be like an AI innovation committee in every company in market research that is just continuously testing, can we plug it in here? Yeah. Rather than saying AI can't do XYZ.
Yeah. I feel like we've been talking about AI and it's moving so rapidly. I can't even imagine what we're going to be talking about. We're recording this in, what is this, like March? Like this summer, end of the year. What are we going to talk about in December? Just the world is moving so fast. And I don't know a period in time when I've ever said that in my life. And, I was there for the internet.com, that was built, but it took a while to build it. This is just moving so fast. I don't know what we're going to be talking about in 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm scared they're going to take over the world. I mean, that's
Aren't you excited though?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm excited about because I'm learning new things and new terms I've never thought of before, right? And becoming much more efficient. And I have the ability to press a few buttons and can do things that took me hours and hours. Like I'll put together a PowerPoint presentation and that saved me 20 hours using AI. Like that's incredible. I'm like, I think I could do a webinar every week now if I wanted to. If the industry wanted a webinar a week from me, they could probably get it.
Yeah.
Um, if if you wanted to write a LinkedIn blog post every single day, you can do it right now. And I
Yeah.
couldn't have done that. I mean, 3 years ago, it was like I'm trying to get out one a month. Now I'm like,
Right.
I want to do no more than two. I have to pick the right two. What are the most efficient 2 blogs I can write that
Yeah.
best accomplish what I want to do? That's a different way of thinking. That's exciting. Instead of, oh my gosh, I've got a month to write a blog and edit it and try to figure out and put it on LinkedIn and find the right picture and we got to buy that. I mean,
Yeah.
that thinking is long gone. And
Yeah.
that's really cool and exciting. Analysis and teaching yourselves. I mean, you can become an expert in anything now. There's no excuse not to become an expert in literally anything. Between YouTube and AI, you can figure out how to do anything yourself in this world. How exciting is that?
It's amazing. And I'll tell you what, again, I'm just going to keep plugging on this because Perplexity Max was released 13 days ago, I think. And I got it 10 days ago. And it has a new feature in it called Step by Step.
Okay.
And you can ask it, I need to do this. And it will give you step by step instructions. It will create a course for you if you're learning how to do something. And so, yeah, I mean, you can learn anything that way.
Absolutely anything. Think like I thought it was a big change when, well, now we have the internet. I don't have to go to the library to learn how to do something, right? I can do it in my own home. I'm old enough to remember that. Now we're on our phone. It can be build something to teach us within seconds.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. It's hard to even imagine
Yeah.
how awesome and amazing it is. And yeah, there's downsides, but the positives, if people are leveraging it correctly and not doom spiraling like we do from time to time, unfortunately, it's so powerful. It makes our lives easier, makes our jobs easier, makes us more efficient, makes us better and smarter and everything.
Yeah. I think that's one of my biggest shifts in the last week. You know, we joked on the beginning of the podcast with Lenny that we're in a doom spiral about AI. And, you know,
Yeah.
once in a while you and I are like, oh my gosh, it can do this. What's going to happen to the economy? Like, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I am putting myself in a place where I am just really excited. And I think that for those of us who can be excited and embrace it, we will be ahead of the curve and everything will be just fine. And I mean, if you think like AI is weird and you don't even have a chatbot or something, you are going to be left behind. That's going to be a problem. Um,
If you're
but
listening to this podcast, yeah.
yeah, you're probably not listening to this podcast. Or you definitely haven't made it this far.
For sure.
But like, I just feel like be excited about it, play around with it, use it, learn about it. In the same way that, like you said, you remember the internet. If you were like, oh, the internet's not going to change anything, and you never learned how to use a computer, you wouldn't be where you are today. And it's just
Yeah.
it's the same kind of thing where we just use it and learn about it and practice with it, experiment with it. We're excited about AI, then we're going to be right where we need to be on the curve. And like, we'll all figure this out. Lenny said it perfectly where, you know, he's like, wow, like you guys thought, you know, the internet was a big thing for market research and for the world. Like, remember, we also survived the printing press.
We survived the industrial revolution.
Yep. Yep. Electricity, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Some horses went out of business back in the day, but yeah. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
we're gonna finish this on a positive note. So hopefully people listen to this in reverse, or I don't know. Maybe there's better ways to listen to it the way that we did it. This is a cool conversation. We'd love to hear from you guys. Do you want to have a conversation like this? I mean, you have them individually a lot. I have similar conversations like this from time to time. We do them together from time to time because I think what we just did, everybody seems to be in the same place and just want to talk to somebody else with a different perspective. Am I doing something wrong? Am I way left behind? Am I in a doom spiral? Like, I think we're all kind of there from time to time.
Yeah.
And so, come on and talk about it. Talk to us individually. Respond to your blog you just wrote.
Shameless plug.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's for real, if you want to talk to us about this, and you know, first of all, we can just do it with you because we do talk to clients and prospects and people about anything at any given time. But even better, if you're willing to let us hit record, come on the podcast. We love doing this. We can record multiple episodes a week. We have a wonderful producer, John Trell, who takes the heavy lifting of producing a podcast off of us. So we'd love to just have you on, hit record, and talk to you about how you're using AI, and hopefully we can all learn something from each other.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for listening. If you got this far, we really appreciate you. We have merch coming soon, hopefully, and so you might see us in future podcasts with some cool T-shirts or button downs or half quarter zip or hoodie. You never know, or hat. And if you see us out, say hi to us. Conference season and travel season is coming soon, and I'll be out and about to a bunch of conferences. And I know you're doing a lot of traveling yourself. So again, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.